Hey, if you're coming from my C# linked list tutorial, then this is a continuation, and all I'm going to do here is I want to compare and show you guys how you would use the linked list that already exists in the C# collections.generic library rather than implementing what I showed you guys in the last tutorial. A lot of the time, when we're actually implementing solutions, we don't create the linked list from scratch. Instead, we use the one that is tried and true and already in the library, okay? So if you followed the last tutorial, I showed you how to create this linked list node class, the really basic version for a single linked list. I also showed you guys the creation of an actual linked list class, which then has a reference to the head node, creates a counter, and you can add to the front, print the list. And I told you guys, I challenged you guys to go and create a few more methods on your own, like the delete method, and add to end, and add to middle, and I maybe mentioned a search method too. What I'm going to show you guys, instead of doing this from scratch, how do you use the library function? So I hope you guys are able to get this. I hope you know how to make linked lists yourself. If you are interviewing for software engineering positions for a new job right now, and you're out of college, or you're coming from a industry role, or maybe another industry into software development, you should know how to make a linked list class from scratch on your own. It should be something that rolls off the tip of your tongue fairly quickly, and you should be able to do it on a whiteboard or on a piece of paper without an IDE like Visual Studio, okay? Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and show you guys how to use the collections.generic version of a linked list. I'm going to keep this little test data I entered from the last tutorials in here. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to repurpose this for our new method, all right? So using collection.generic, there's already a definition for a linked list. It's already generic. It creates a double linked list for you. So let me go ahead and delete the old one we used, and I'm going to make this a int linked list, just like we did before. I'm going to call it linked list and define it as a new linked list. Great. Now, the old method name I used will not work for this. So what we need to do is we need to find out what the actual one is for the library. So let's see. The library version is a double linked list, meaning that it has pointers going forwards, so you can go traverse from the front to the end of the linked list, and it has pointers going backwards. So if you want, you could traverse from the end of the list to the front of the list. It also, the actual implementation also creates a reference to the head node, so you can traverse front to end, and one to the end node, allowing you to go from end to front. All right, what I want to do is I'm going to simulate the exact same stuff we did in the last tutorial, creating on our own. So this is just going to be an add first for every one of these calls. All right, if you thought that was really cool, let me zoom in, sorry about that. If you thought that was really cool, how I just got all of these to copy and paste at once, what I did is Visual Studio lets you hold Alt, drag straight down, and you're basically going to be able to edit all of the lines in that column like you see there, all right? So all I did is I held Alt, not holded. I held Alt, and then I actually just pasted the method name. So let me go ahead and do that from scratch again so you guys can just see it. So I figured out what the method name that I wanted was first. It's add first. I copied it. I held down Alt, and I highlighted, or I just dragged my cursor down the exact same column on multiple rows. So it's row 15 through 20. Now you can see the cursor's technically on all of these. And I just pasted. Awesome. Simple. All right. Next, I need to call some sort of method that's going to print out my data for me. Let's see if they have a print. I don't see a print method in there, but I bet you they have some kind of method that'll allow us to traverse through it. So let's see if I can just use an iterator here. So for each int I in linked list, let's console.writeLine I. Awesome. So is this always going to traverse from the front to the end? It probably will. And you could probably choose to reverse this. An easy way to also possibly do it is to do a reversal. There you go. So I'm just going to do it this way really quickly. What we should see in my console window right here is the inverted output from the way it was entered. So you see 4, 15, 10, 5, 1, 7, 5. Perfect. So in this 5 minutes, I probably could have shortened it down to 2 or 3, and this much shorter source code, instead of that huge amount of implementation I did, we just used a library. We've done what I showed you guys in the last tutorial. You've now created a linked list using the collections.generic implementation. We've added data in front every time like we did in our last tutorial, and we've gone and iterated through the entire linked list to print the data out. If you have questions, if you want to see more on how you can use the linked list structure, then please do ask in the comments below. If you have any other feedback or critique, please leave them there too. If you're not subscribed, please do subscribe and hit that bell to be reminded when we do release new content. Hope you guys enjoyed. Have a good one.